Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Nuff channel. In this video we're going to do the round 10 preview for NRL Fantasy in the 2024 NRL season. So before we get stuck into my team in particular, we'll have a quick look at NRLFantasyStats.com, get a bit of a guide as to the popular trade-ins, trade-outs this week. So on the Who's Hot list, Ruben Garrick is the top picks. Obviously went quite well last week. Still fairly cheap. What's he at? I think it was 600. Oh no, 588. So less than 600k still. So that is a good buy, in my opinion. Fa'alonga, obviously a nice sort of straight swap for Pappenhausen. So get on board with that. Tedesco, obviously at a fairly cheap price. So probably another Pappenhausen trade there. Armstrong, I guess if you haven't got on him yet, still offers good value at his price. AJ Brimson, I think he is fairly expensive. No, still under 600k. So playing fullback for the Titans, his preferred position, so could get on. Atkinson, if you're looking to make some money, I don't mind him as a downgrade option. We'll cover around 13 and 14, assuming Trindle, doesn't rush back into the team. So I guess if you're looking for a downgrade, he could be a good option. Angus Crichton, you're paying up, but in the form he's in, I think you've got to have him. I'm probably going to look to get him in this week. Ethan Sanders, not one I'm convinced on. I think Mitchell Moses will be back before round 13, particularly given that Gutherson's now out for a while. I think Moses will be pushing hard to get back earlier. So if you're looking for a cheap half like this week, I'd go Atkinson over Sanders. Asako, yep, good origin coverage. Um, wing fullback, keeper type option. So bring him in comfortably. Scotty Drinkwater, yep, bring him in. He's got a good run the next few weeks. We'll cover the first two origin buys. Joey Manu, probably just a bit too expensive for my liking. I'd rather go with Garrick. Um, I guess the one advantage with Manu is he will cover around 13. But I think there's better value. Trey Fuller, yeah, why not? If you're swapping for Pappenhausen, you could bring him in. Blaze Tlung is an interesting one, so getting on him. He's playing fullback, obviously available in the centres, which is a position I'm struggling with at the moment. So potentially a good bring in. McKaylee, so PPM beast, just needs some minutes. I think he'll get that during the origin period. So a good time to get on him while he's still nice and cheap. And Samuel Afonu, not convinced on this. Definitely one I'll look at in round 14 after the round 13 bye, because the Tigers have that really nice run. But I guess if you think his price is going to get away, he's currently at 433. But I'm comfortable paying a little bit more if he shows that he's doing the business on that edge. Who's not hot? So basically trade outs. Pappenhausen makes sense. Arthur's injured makes sense. Murray makes sense. Ethan Strange I can understand, but potential hold. But in terms of dollars and cents, he's going to leak a bit more cash so he can get out. Jerome Hughes, I think, is only 1 week, so I would hold on Jerome Hughes if you're trading him out. It might be tough to cover this week, but it's a 27-week season in fantasy, not 1 week. Jai Gray, yep, easy out for a while, trade him out. Brandon Smith covers around 13, dual position, but just not really in form, so carrying a bit of an injury, so can probably get out. Jamin Salmon, I'd like to hold to cover the buys, but it looks more and more like Jacob Preston's gonna, come back on that edge sooner rather than later. And then what does Salmon do? Maybe go back to the bench. So might be the time to get off. Schiller Savage, yep, can get out. Api Coruscant's a hold. He's playing this week. afternoon game too, so potentially more attacking output from him. Bostock, it's I guess if you want to try the hold for round 13, you could, but I think it's less advantageous to do so in fantasy. So probably fair enough if you want to get out of him. But obviously, if you've got injuries like Pappenhausen, Murray, they take preference, whatever the word is. Adam Reynolds injured. Yep, he can go. Smithies, I'm leaning towards hold. I just think he offers a decent enough base that it's worthwhile holding. And Tanner Boyd, don't know what's going on with him. Pretty sure he's not in the team, so get rid of him. So I guess based on all that, in terms of my team this week, so I guess the two glaringly obvious ones are Murray and Pappenhausen have to go. So let's get Curran on field. And I think our only other option is Armstrong. That's playing this week. We do have weeks and still carrying Chevy Stewart. Obviously, Cleary needs to be in the starting lineup. All right, and then we'll just swap Galvin. Stop it. Pappenhausen can swap with Hughes. Weeks on the buy. So at the moment, we do have 17, but again, there's not much point holding all this cash on our bench. So Paps is out. Murray's out. And originally, I was all in on, trading Murray to Angus Crichton. And I'll probably still do that if I'm being completely honest. Just getting FOMO not having him in the team. So we'll lock that one away. But then with the other move, I was thinking of going like another big hitter, like a Sean Johnson, for example. But I think, we do have to look for the value when we can. And, Fa'alongo is going to offer that value. So it's basically a straight swap, Pappenhausen for Fa'alongo, and Cam Murray to Angus. So we've got 685k, which is very unsettling. So we have to make those two trades. We can make a third trade. Um, so then it's just, I guess, who do we want? We can trade anyone we want for anyone we want, essentially. So there is still the option of getting Sean Johnson. And I mean, we could do the ultimate rags and riches trade. We could go Chevy Stewart out all the way up to Sean Johnson, which is pretty insane. That just looks disgusting. I love it. I think I'm going to go it. So if we confirm that, so we're down to 17 trades. Obviously, that's only got to last the next 10 rounds. But yeah, I think after this week, we've got to do some buy planning, which for those that aren't familiar with, is available on NRL Fantasy Stats. So up the top here in the pink, you'll see 2024 buy planner. Um, so I'll probably preview this more next week. I'll try and find some time, especially because it's trying to find my team, which takes a little while. But essentially, you type it in here, it'll actually pick your team up based on your team name, and then it'll sort of lay out your team, and you can see, oh, there you go. Any fear of selecting my team? There we go. So yeah, and you can see it highlights with who's on buy. You can sort of add it who's on Origin. So like Harry Grant on Origin, you'll see like round 16. But I'll go through this more next week. At some point. We might even dedicate a whole video to it. But with those changes, I think we've got to bring Angus in. SJ, obviously hard to squeeze in our halves, but we'll push him up the list a fair way. And then I guess, do we start Fa'alongo over the likes of Armstrong or Bostock? And I'm thinking Bostock on the bench. So we'll go with Brayley. Johnson probably needs to go above Galvin. And then I think Finny Filiaki is going to slide up into number 4, but we can loophole as well. So, I mean, I just swap. Actually, I've done this the wrong way. So, I don't know. I'm not that confident on Salmon, Hughes, or Bostock. I guess Bostock playing Thursday night. I did tip him, so we'll go Bostock. And obviously, if that doesn't come off, we can easily loop Finny Filiaki in. They don't play till Sunday Arvo. So let's go with something like that. Right, save it. Captain, vice captain. So I think I'm just gonna play it fairly straight. Although I did back Cleary in my super coach as captain this week, so do I go all in on the great one? Let's do it. We're a fair way down the list. We probably need to try something a bit funky. We probably don't, but let's do it anyway. So Cleary against the Dogs as captain. Obviously, if that falls through, Nico hopefully goes okay against the Storm. Um, who do the Warriors play actually? Do we need? No, the Roosters. Warriors haven't been that great anyway, so we'll keep it like that. But that's the fantasy round 10 preview. So obviously, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below this video. Give us a like if you enjoy the NRL fantasy content. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports on the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you on the next one.